In this video, we're going to learn how to thread our B335 Bernina sewing machine. So we'll start with the top, and then we'll do the bottom where the bobbin goes. Let's start with the top of our machine. So the first thing you're going to want to look for is your spool pin, which is going to be, we're going to be using this vertical one right here. We also have a horizontal spool pin, but we'll use the vertical one. Sometimes it's flipped down here where you can't see it, and then all you have to do is just kind of swing it back up. And that's where we're going to start. And then I will grab my thread. So I'm going to use a spool of thread, just a regular spool of thread. And I'm going to start with my thread coming off the back. You can see it's coming out the back. See, this is my back of my machine, back of my spool pin. That's where my thread's coming off. This would be the front. That's wrong. So we're going to start with it on the back, and we'll put it on the spool pin. And I'm going to pull this thread along the top of the machine to this little metal hook right here. So I'm going to take it, go around this metal hook, make sure it's caught, and you can see it's kind of, there's a corner now. I'm going to pull it forward. I'm going to follow this arrow. There's a couple different arrows. Right now we're following this straight one. So I'll go straight along the thread, take up lever guard, and then around. Now here, I want to catch it on my thread take up lever in here. And in order to do that, I need my thread take up lever to be in the highest position. I can do that by taking my hand wheel and turning it towards me. And you can see a little something moving over here. So I'm going to move that till it's in the very, very highest position. I don't know if you can see it super well. Let me just move this a little so you can maybe see it better. Anyway, so there's the thread take up lever right there, and it's going down. When it comes up, then I'll get in the highest position again. I'm going to go around. So just to repeat what we did here, we went through the hook in the back, past the arrow, down around the thread take up guard, through the thread take up lever when it was in the highest position, and then we'll continue on down to the front of the machine. So I've already gone through the thread take up lever, and now I have my thread coming down this way along the left side of the thread take up guard. And I'm going to catch my thread on this metal bar right here. So I'm going to just push behind. Then there's going to be a metal wire right here. And on the left side, I will catch that metal wire. And that will hold my thread in place. So both of these two metal pieces are going to be holding my thread in place. And then I'm going to thread my needle through the eye or the hole of the needle. It's kind of hard to see, but it's just right there. So I'm going to carefully do that. Okay. So I put it through the hole. And next there is this diagonal slit. You can see my fingers right here. Kind of see the glint of it. That is in the presser foot. And I want to pull my thread through that slit. You can see now it's going through a little hole. So that my thread isn't going to be in the way on the top. It's going to be in between where my fabric is. So it's going to be between the presser foot and the stitch plate and feet hooks. Then I can just pull that backwards. So this is the hook of the machine. And that's where our bobbin case is going to be housed. That holds our bobbin as well. So the bobbin, inside the bobbin case, will go inside the hook. And as I turn this hand wheel, which you can't see the hand wheel, but you can see the hook turning, you can kind of see how the machine is moving. And you can see this top thread is getting pulled and looped around. And that's why it's called the hook, because it's supposed to hook around on the bottom thread. But we don't have the bobbin or bottom thread in there right now, so it doesn't really do us any good. So we need to go ahead and put that in there. I have right here our bobbin. So this is the little tiny thread that's going to go in there. And this is our bottom thread, so that's the bobbin. And this is our bobbin case. So the bobbin case is housed in this little compartment, like I said. I'm just going to hold on to this tab as I put it in, because that's just easier to hold on to. Put my finger up, so this little finger is going to be pointing up, and then I just push it in, straighten it out to the hook until it clicks, and that's how I know it's in there all the way. And again, I'll just show you what that looks like with the top thread going around it. Again, there's no bobbin thread in there, so it's not going to make a complete connection, which is why we need the bobbin. You can't sew without your bottom thread. So I'll pull this out and let's go ahead and thread in the bobbin. So here's the bobbin, and I want to make sure that when I pull this thread, my bobbin is turning clockwise, right? So if this was a clock, it's 1 o'clock, 2 o'clock, 3 o'clock, and the little holes are the hands going around, right? If I turn it this way, then it's going counterclockwise. I want it clockwise. So make sure it's going clockwise. Then I'm gonna take that bobbin, I'm gonna slip it right inside my bobbin case. Here's a bobbin case, that's what that looks like. I'm just gonna slide it in. I'm gonna double check, okay, it's going clockwise. Yes, it is. And then I will pull it on the right side here. There's a little slit. I'm gonna pull my thread through that slit and follow along this metal plate up into the hole. Once I get in the hole, I will put my thread on the left side of the finger, and I'm ready to put my bobbin case in. So I'll just grab it again right here. Make sure the finger is pointing up, push it in. Right now it's loose. I need to make sure it clicks all the way in. And that's what it looks like. Now I'm gonna turn my hand wheel, which is on the right side of my machine. You can't see it because I want you to be able to see a close up. And I can't do a close up and show the whole machine at the same time. But I'm gonna turn my hand wheel towards me. As I'm turning my hand wheel, I'm doing this kind of motion where I'm bringing my thumb towards me, right? The top of the hand wheel is coming towards me. So like this. Sorry, I know it's super zoomed in. So I'm gonna hold on to my hand wheel with my right hand. Left hand is gonna hold on to this top thread so that I don't lose it. And then I'm going to turn the hand wheel one full rotation so that like my needle goes down and then up again, right? So now it's down and I'm pulling everything back up. You can see the top thread is looping around with the hook and it's catching my bottom thread, and then I'll pull my top thread up. It'll pull the bottom thread, the bobbin, so that there's a little loop, and I'll just grab my loop, pull it through, and then both my threads are going to be up on top of the stitch plate and underneath the presser foot. I can close up this compartment, pull my threads behind, and then I'm ready to sew. You always want to make sure your threads are behind when you're sewing, just so that if they're right here and I'm sewing, then I'm probably going to sew over these threads again and it's going to become a tangled mess, right? So if I want to keep everything neat and nice, then I'm just going to pull them behind and they won't get in my way while I'm sewing.